Starting in Ukraine, Ukraine starts pushing back the Russians, with supplies from NATO and other non-NATO countries, eventually almost pushing them fully out. But the only reason why they broke the stalemate was cause Russia tried a last resort attempt to take Kiev, but embarrassingly failed. Ukraine sends troops to Crimea, and in brutal battles they get Crimea fully. Then they start pushing into Russian territory. Putin in the office realized that invading Ukraine was a big mistake, cause of NATO support. Ukraine takes back all their land. Then Putin and Zelensky sign a peace deal, leading to Ukraine's favor. Soon after, Ukraine joins NATO to be safe from Russia. Putin calls out NATO and says NATO wants to expand their influence, and NATO says the same thing back. Skipping to Eastern Asia, some stuff happens. Going towards Korea, an event happens. North Korea finally has a civil war. The rebellions act quickly, so they don't do this for nothing. But they will eventually lose so. South Korea also knows that the North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un, will commit a genocide against the rebellion, so they join the war. Completely blitzing to the capital from the south, being welcomed from the people. Kim gets assassinated. China also gets involved too, I don't know. So the West doesn't get Korea fully. A peace treaty is signed between China, South and North Korea. Going to China, something happens. Probably something good right now. China falls into another civil war, calling the government a dictator. But wait, another one pops up. A democratic rebellion pops up. People don't like the communist society. Unfortunately, all rebellions are being supported, but China still has a chance. Never mind. Manchuria rebels. China is cooked cause their capital Beijing is right on the doorstep of occupation. But China still thinks that they have a chance. Now let's get to the fine stuff. South Korea joins to fully unite Korea. Since China is cut off, they can't send soldiers. Mongolia joins the war to get some old lands to improve living quality in their country. Taking most of Inner Mongolia, Manchuria starts invading China along with Mongolia, taking Beijing, and starts circling Chinese troops, damaging the front line for China. Since Mongolia is kinda weak, China starts pushing back Mongolia, but Mongolia keeps some occupied area. But China invades into Mongolia. That's the least of China's worries though. Cause of China doing that, Tibet pushes into Chinese areas, with East Turkmenistan pushing in too, almost circling the Chinese troops in Mongolia. The democratic group expands and inspires other groups to rebel against the communist government for freedom. Like Hong Kong rebels, UK supports Hong Kong independence. With the support of the governors and the people, they take the surrounding areas, taking these areas and this island too. Since now the Chinese government realizes they aren't gonna win, they decide to surrender to make the peace treaty a little less harsh on them, but it's still kinda harsh. And now we will look at the peace treaty, the Treaty of Tokyo. Now we can see that China got destroyed. Taiwan is now recognized as the Democratic Republic of China and got tons of land, and as the true original China before communism came in. Tibet has been given independence and has gotten all its land before China invaded. East Turkmenistan also got their independence and their previous lands before World War II. Mongolia got some of Inner Mongolia. This is the border chain. This can be very beneficial for their country. Manchuria has gotten independence and their old lands before World War II, and they were supported by Japan, by the way. China, instead of getting fully annexed, they just became a shadow of what they used to be. Moving to Syria, something happens. Syria actually wins the civil war and unites the entire country. After decades of fighting, the country can finally be at peace and can possibly join an alliance to help their country. But still, they can finally rest after years of self-fight. Never mind, Turkey invades Syria and takes the whole thing. This gets Russia annoyed at Turkey.
Turkey, why did you invade Syria when they finally won?
I'm just doing what's right and make sure there isn't a civil war here again.
You better.
Going to Burundi, something happens, and it's not good. They collapse. Their economy just disappeared. I mean, they are very poor and small. So their bordering country, Rwanda, annexes then to make their country more bearable. The other countries around them approve of this, but I'll get back to that in a moment after we look at another event. Somalia defeats a rebel group, and with a deal they made with the UK, they won't invade Somaliland, but the deal won't be named as that will be shown later. And Sudan just removes this rebel group, nothing major. Ethiopia decides to invade never mind, they invade Eritrea, which was their lands in the 1970s. So they annex all of it. Going back to Central Africa, something happens. They unite to make the Central African Union. That was Alternative Future of the World, Part 1. And if you enjoyed this, put your opinions in the comments if you want to see more. See you later.